Hey there, it's Conklin. I hope you're all having a great day so far. Today is going to be a little different because I forgot to think of a topic for this week. So we're going to try something a little different. We're going to read a Reddit story or two today on r/am I the devil. And yeah, we're just going to get to it. This is more of a listening episode. I just have the gameplay of Gibraltar from Apex Legends doing a little bit of fire dancing in the background, just in case you want to watch that for like 10 minutes straight. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So, I'm just gonna say bad guy instead of the A word because I don't know how YouTube's rules are here. So I'm just gonna say bad guy means arse hole. Just so you know. All right. Am I the bad guy for calling my 11-year-old daughter a gaslighter and manipulative? Interesting. For context, I, 39 female, and my daughter, 11 female, have a major beef, and for the last month or two, all I ask of her is to clean the house and walk the dogs. I have 5 German Shepherds. I don't want her to take all of them at one time, just at least take them out a few times a day and want a little help in the house. Lately, I've been laid off my job, and as a McDonald's manager, I have been feeling pretty depressed, but my husband makes more than enough to keep the bills paid and us fed and happy. I haven't been able to get out of bed a lot and just crying constantly because I love that job. So when I do come out of bed and see the house is a mess, I get overwhelmed and angry. So I've been asking my daughter to keep on top of it just till I feel better. But she doesn't seem to understand. We argue almost every day, and it always ends with her screaming, "You're mean to me. Oh, you're meant to be my mom. Feed me, not me feeding you. You're meant to clean the house, not me." Okay, I admit I don't clean the house often, but she's well more than capable to feed herself, and she's growing up and needs to learn how to clean and feed herself. It's not my fault I get stressed when she doesn't. We had the biggest fight this morning before she left for school, so I started as a normal morning, getting up, making sure she's awake at 6:15. She's meant to be up at 6. That's not even that. Okay. I went in, saw that she wasn't awake, and I was already annoyed at my husband for not making my morning coffee. So I just lost it. I started screaming about how she never does anything, and now she won't even wake up for school? What the hell? And she just responded by saying she does everything around the house, which I find pretty damn dramatic as I do some of it, and she only does the cooking, cleaning, barely walks the dogs only twice a day. Like, dogs do more than that, especially German Shepherds. That's about it. This has to be a troll post. I'm sorry. So I got mad and told her to quit gaslighting and manipulating me because I will not have that in my house, and she started to cry and say she can't be dealing with me and arguing every day about her mental health is bad. I said, well, maybe stop gaslighting me. So then my husband came in to see her crying, but I'm guessing he already knew what was going on from eavesdropping, and he calmly told me to leave the room, so I did. He then talked to her for a couple minutes, told her to get ready, then he drove her to school. It's now 6:45, and roughly 45 minutes ago, my husband phoned to say that my daughter will be staying in a hotel for the foreseeable future. I have no clue what I've done to deserve this. He also says he's considering divorce. Me and him will be having a talk tomorrow, but before then, I want to know, am I the bad guy? I'll make an update if anyone cares. Okay. So before I read, there is a small update. So before I read that, I'll give my initial thoughts. So obviously this is on r/am I the devil. So obviously everyone on this subreddit is gonna always be the bad guy. But this is terrible. Oh my goodness gracious. This is terrible. She's delusional. I mean, like, yeah, I suppose, yeah, losing a job you love is really hard. But she's treating her daughter as if her daughter isn't doing everything around the house right now. I mean, I'm sure the husband's doing stuff too, but the husband also has to work, so... Wow, okay. Yeah, so that's my initial thoughts so far. Terrible. Like, she needs to get some therapy. She needs to talk it out or something, because something's wrong. Alright, here's the update. She says, okay, since you all seem to think I'm in the wrong, in parentheses, when I don't, I think I'll look into therapy, and at the talk tomorrow, I'll tell my husband I want to do a family therapy, and that maybe I should stay at the hotel while they stay at the house until we can talk it under a supervision of a professional. Okay, so her thoughts, or my thoughts, pretty much exactly therapy. Like, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, I think this is, and this has a tag up by the title that says bad guy. So, wow, this is awful. How do you have no self-awareness in this? Like, you were typing it. I assume she didn't reread the post because there's a lot of, I was stuttering during it because there was like a lot of spelling errors. So I guess she never reread it or anything. So that's, wow. Okay, let's read some of the comments here to try and, let's just read some of the comments. One person says, you're the bad guy. You're a liar and a manipulator and gaslighter. Total narcissist. You should be divorced and your daughter should be free from you. I hope she heals from the trauma you put her through. Yeah. 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 I don't know what else I could say more about that one. Okay. Here's another comment. This one's new. This one's from yesterday. And they quoted a section from the thing. They quoted what the mother says. She only does the cooking, cleaning, and barely walks the dogs only twice a day. Like, dogs need more than that, especially German Shepherds. That's about it. And then the commenter responded to that quote saying, bro, what? Do you hear yourself? Your 11-year-old daughter is doing all of this and you're still accusing her that the child is not doing enough? You're the bad guy. You lost a job, so what? That's not the end of the world. You're ruining your marriage over it. Get yourself together, self-reflect, and change before you ruin your marriage completely. Yeah. I mean, there's a divorce scare there, so she's taking her anger a lot out on the people she loves here. And it's not good. So yeah, that's about it. So, ultimate decision, she's terrible. She's completely in the wrong here. Alright, I think we have enough time for one more story here. If I can find one. Lots of these are deleted, so I'm gonna try and find one. Because I think these people delete the post because, like, they get told so much. That they're the bad guy that they just kind of delete it because they're getting so much backlash. Oh, okay. This is a new post. Someone post. Oh no, it's cross posts. Okay, it's a cross post. It's not. I was like 6 hours ago. Wow. Okay. This is a short one. You ready for this? Am I the bad guy for blaming my sister for my father's death? My 23-year-old female, I think she meant to say me. Me, 23-year-old female, works double shifts to cover up the bills of our house. My sister, 14 female, is usually at home and taking care of my dad, 61 male. My dad is really sick and he suffers from heart failure and ischemic heart disease. Sorry, I don't really know how to say that word. And as much as I always taught her to take care of him in case of emergencies. Anyways, about a week ago, my dad had a myocardial infarction and was unconscious on the floor. She's the first one who found him, and instead of calling the ambulance, she called me crying and saying, I don't know what to do. I told her to perform a basic life support, and I immediately left and called an ambulance and went home. When the ambulance arrived, they pronounced him dead because he was in cardiac arrest for a really long period, and there was no hope. I couldn't hold myself but to scream at her and tell her she's the reason why my father is dead. She's the one who's supposed to take care of him at this time. During the funeral, my sister kept crying and blaming herself, and then my aunt told her not to, and she said that X, which is, I guess she's referring to herself, told me it's my fault because I didn't know basic life support and I should have called the ambulance and panicked. Then my aunt pulled me and called me a bad person and the devil, etc. And to be honest, that stuck on me. Okay. Initial thoughts before I read some comments. There's no updates. So initial thoughts before I read the comments. This is tough to say because I don't think her sister is in the wrong here, because she's a 14-year-old girl and her father had a health emergency and she panicked and wasn't sure what to do. Yes, I'm pretty sure she was like told what to do and she's probably been run through the scenarios a lot, but I think we all know when we think of a situation, our imagination is a lot different than when it actually happens. So I think when she realized that the situation was really happening, she kind of went into a panic, and just kind of did her first instinct, which was to call her sister. And I think the sister has a little bit of a right to be mad because, I'm not trying to justify the sister for blaming a 14-year-old girl for the father's death. That would ruin. I think that would mentally ruin anyone. If you were blaming yourself for your own parents' death, that would be horrible. I would not be able to live with myself if I was blamed for something like that. But I do understand that she's coming from a place of lots of grief and frustration right now. And I don't think she actually believes that her sister is the reason. At least I hope that she doesn't fully believe that, but I can see where she would because, she trusted her sister in that. So I'm going to do like an out of 5 rating here. My initial rating, I'm going to say 0 out of 5 on the bad guy score for this little sister, and a 2.5 out of 5 for the person who posted here. I think that's a fair score, maybe, because obviously they're dealing with a lot of grief here, and there's no reference of a mother in this post. So I don't think there's a mother figure in the situation here. And yeah, I think she deserves a bit of a score for lashing out on her sister for this. Because she is a child. The sister is almost half her age. And is just a kid, so I think a score of 2.5 out of 5 is fair, I would say, for the poster. All right, let's read some of these comments. Okay. Okay. So this first comment I see here, in an acute care setting, in an instance, a hospital with trained medical professionals, doctors, and AED, and a witnessed arrest with CPR started immediately, the chances of survival with return previous level of function are less than 10% of what the father went through. Witness arrest with good CPR started immediately, and an ambulance arriving quickly has a much lower survival rate, and she thinks an unwitnessed arrest with a CPR performed by a kid is going to save him. So, yeah. So what this person's pretty much saying is that even with trained professionals who theoretically would have even been there on the spot, there was not a very big chance of the father surviving. So the little sister should not have as much blamed. Shouldn't have as much blame for this as the poster is giving her. Okay. So, I'll read one more comment here. This one's a long one. It's about as long as the post, so strap in for this one, I guess. This person says, wait a minute, so you have an aunt, yet you left your 14-year-old sister to take care of your very sick father and said it was her fault when it wasn't. I know you're grieving, however, yes, you are a bad guy for saying that, and from the looks of it, you could have asked your aunt for help, but didn't. So yes, there was another adult you could have called. This person has responded. They also say, oop, to replying to a commenter, because it's only me and her and my father who live in the same house. My mom died and our relatives are in a different city. Okay. This person says, call a phone call for them to help y'all and let them live there for your dad, or they could send you money to get your dad professional at a nursing home instead of relying on a literal untrained child. And honestly, it's odd you didn't attempt to do either of those options. Okay. Yeah, so this person is just saying pretty much just why you didn't think ahead of this, you know? And also, there's one more comment that this person says where it's a teen girl being assumed to have enough upper body strength to give CPR. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to perform CPR, but I assume because you're pressing into someone's chest hard enough to try and have their heart beat. So I would assume that takes a lot of strength to do. So yeah. That's been today's episode. I hope you had fun listening. I kind of had fun reading. I'm gonna expect many Reddit videos because I don't really want this channel to be a Reddit commentary channel. But I just couldn't think of a topic today, so I figured why not just read some stories. This was definitely an intense one to start off with for the first day of reading something like this. Like, this was a very intense subreddit. But I hope you guys enjoyed listening to these stories, listening to me read them. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm sorry this is being posted a little later, but I hope that's okay. Make sure that you are enough. Make sure to tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys next time.